We're just leaving the Guimet. Now, that's one of the only times I've ever seen a crowd, people standing in line for their ticket. Notice the price of tickets, $7.50, or if you go to the permanent exhibit, it's €9.50. Now, considering this is the night of the museums coming up, Saturday night, considering that you could spend the entire day at the Guimet, or the Museum of Asia, I guess is what they're calling it now. Considering that, and for only an additional €4 or €5, you can see the movie. Today it was about Taiwan puppets. I think that is an incredibly excellent use of say, under €15 in Paris? Well, under €15. Admission for under €8. Sorry. Anyway,
all right.
That's the metro there.
All right.
Yeah, he's practicing his English, isn't he? Well, whatever he wanted from me, it was nothing that I wanted. There is the two exhibits. They've left off Matahari. That was small but very nice. There's a garden. They have a garden. It's not open right now up the street here, a Japanese tea garden. So we're continuing on to Yves Saint Laurent, which is very small. The Yves Saint Laurent exhibit and foundation. There's an exhibit of his clothes from the 80s. One of his most controversial, in fact, I think it was the most controversial collection. The one where all the women looked like, the fashions looked like what the prostitutes wore in World War II. So let's just say it didn't go over. I'm crossing the street now. And back to the Guimet. Being able to spend an entire day for that amount in an uncrowded, peaceful museum, not like the Louvre, I mean just not crowded, peaceful, looking at Asian art. I mean, my goodness. And the movie, I didn't see it today because it was a little too long, and it was right at lunchtime when I needed to have some food, but it was on Taiwanese marionettes, and I think it was a little over an hour. They have activities, I picked up the schedule of activities. They have lots of things. They have lessons, movies, performances. So I think the Guimet is a terrific place to know about in Paris. Here's a bus stop, 63, and this I think is a very useful bus. I'm just going to look at the map. Yeah, so I'm definitely shouting out to the Guimet. I think the Guimet is wonderful. Okay, there, we'll just see where it goes. It goes to Latin Quarter, and on the other end it goes to Trocadero and Victor Hugo. So this is a useful bus route. I know my friends took it the other day to go to the Luxembourg Gardens. Now we're coming up here to more museums and a great view of the Eiffel Tower too. This is the Modern Art Museum. There are two of them side by side. We're going to go past the Palais Galliera, where the Jean Lavin exhibit is right now, but not the entrance. This is going to be the garden side, and I'll show it. And they must have had some kind of street market here, because you can see all the trash. wooden boxes for fruits and vegetables. Okay, here we have the exhibit that I saw. Jeanne Lanvin, a designer, a fashion designer well ahead of her time. That was a must-see. It'll be over, but I don't, you can maybe read the date when it's going to be over. There's the Palais de Tokyo, and there in between the trees is the Eiffel Tower. It's on the other side of the Seine, but the views from this side, right around this area, are excellent, especially in Trocadero, where there's the Palais de Chaillot, another museum complex with the Maritime Museum and the Architecture Museum. Here we've got another one of those crazy painted vans. This one is just as cute as the one I saw this morning that was red. And you know, the park is beautiful because the day I saw this show, it was raining so hard you could barely go out there. You know, I got soaked that day. So that is, it is called a palace, but believe me, by Paris standards, that's kind of a small palace. But right in this area, there are these places called the Hôtel Particulier, which are really mansions, and they're quite lavish, they're incredible. And today, some of them are still in private hands, but others are, well, there's the Mona Bismarck Foundation, and they have fashion shows there. Mona Bismarck was a socialite. I think she was from the South, but I'm not, the Southern U.S. I'm not positive. And she married several times and became very, very wealthy. So that's her I mean, she's no longer alive, but that's her foundation. They have, I think there are a number of organizations that have office space in the Mona Bismarck Foundation. And I'm heading down here to the Yves Saint Laurent. We see the police here, the police van. I'm going to apologize for all the noise. There's a ton of noise here on the street, lots of traffic. We've got a homeless person coming up here on the right. I don't know if he's probably asleep. And they're the National Police. So you can rest assured that we are walking by something very important just then. And when I have a chance, I'll look it up on the internet and I'll find out what they're protecting. Because I'm pretty sure that's what they're doing. We're almost here at Yves Saint Laurent. And this, not only was this his studio, it was his home for many years with Pierre Berger. And the foundation's name right now it's actually Pierre Berger, Yves Saint Laurent Foundation. And Berger is still alive. He's really keeping the legend of Yves alive and doing all kinds of things to promote charity and Yves Saint Laurent. I've been to the actual studio. You have to make advance reservations. It's very, very small, but it's interesting. But as long as you check the hours for the museum part of the foundation, you can go and see whatever exhibit is up. And usually the exhibits are they're fantastic. And I think it's on this street. It's up here about a block. No, his collection. Yeah, here it is. His personal collection of costumes, and you know, his own designs, but also things like ethnic costumes of Russia and Morocco and things like that. They're absolutely flawless because they're maintained so beautifully. And we'll go across the street so we can get a really good view of that poster, because I won't be able to shoot inside. Oh, that's nice. That lady was clapping. Okay, there we go. And there we have the foundation. Along there, I think right there, maybe is the entrance. Well, maybe that's the entrance to the studio. I don't really remember. So we'll see you later.